Hello, 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 folks. Welcome in. I might have to turn down. I might have to put this window down in order to make sure that the sound at least is kept buried. But hopefully, the gain in this in the cancellation will keep that good. Um, but welcome in. This is H.Will React. This is normally in the content that we're going to be doing today. Looks like we may have to do that now. Okay. And what we're looking to do today is that we would normally do is what I call a Sunday cleanup. But as I've said before, for anyone who may have been here, may have actually watched this, that basically at certain points, certain things happen, just like it happened this Sunday, where I couldn't quite get those things done that I usually do on Sunday. So, those things got to be pushed over to Monday, which I have the time to actually do a little more on that day. So now I'm actually downstairs doing laundry. I actually cleaned out the tank. I actually cleaned out my tank for my turtle today. Incidentally, my turtle's name is Clover. I've recently rechristened Clover because I think it's just such a awesome name for a turtle. Like I said, that's her name. And of course, anybody who might wonder where does Clover come from, well, double entendre. I mean, after all, the turtle's green, but also if you watch Cloverfield, then you know about the Cloverfield monster, and she just reminds me a little bit of a mini Clover. So Clover. Anyway, doing that and doing other things, so now I also have to do one other thing that I said I would do if I happen to have found what I needed to find. Now, what that thing is that recently I had taken Edie I mean of Outlaw Tupac and Outlaw Fame to task for what he had to say about those people who were critics of the situation and the setup as it involved Destination Smokehouse and Mr. Walter Johnson, Unc, aka Mr. Tenderism, and all of that. They were concerned. They were hearing things, seeing things unfold that made them uncomfortable, that made them feel like that this was yet another situation like other situations that we've had to face. And then, things got said, but then Edie Amin, who, if you happen to seen the video before, I will start circulating these videos. I just wanted to get a library up so that I could feel satisfied to start circulating some of the stuff on to get people looking, get people on to what's looking like a more established building, what I'm saying, platforms that I have right now, working with Restream, working now with Rumble and everything like that, that combination to move forward, as well as I believe I'm going to try to see about locals, just try to get where I can to try to optimize what I'm doing here. Which, by the way, while we're doing some cleanup, then some things done, I have a couple of ideas that I'm thinking about working. Like I'm thinking about doing a Patreon. I have a Patreon anyway, but what I'm thinking about doing with the Patreon actually is setting it up where the tiers, if I could set this up, it will be kind of awesome. To where I could set up the tiers to where, like, the first tier, I mean, I don't know how many tiers there are. Let's just say there were three. We do the first tier is, you pay to get on the first tier, you are part of my focus group. You'd be a part of the focus group for us. Will you get to be in direct contact with us? We'll get to speak about any ideas that you have, information that you want to transfer over. I mean, anything that you may, any possible collaborations that you want to bring up or anything like that, to see how that benefits both parties and things like that. We'll be willing to hear that more directly, more, say more, well, more directly is definitely better, but definitely with a more, open, fervent energy. And it's not because it's being paid for, but it's because it's being earned. in a way. It's like, we're not paying for a class, we're paying to collaborate. So if we collaborate on something that can make us both money, then it's a win for the both of us. So that's, and things of that nature. So just saying. Second tier, I'm not sure, but actually, I think I know which one. Second tier, for example, would be actually being on a show with us. And you would get to be on the show with us like maybe like twice a month. But I do believe that Patreon is like a monthly subscription. So if you do that, then like at least twice a month, at least twice a month, you'll be, we'll be doing shows to where, to where they'll include you. That'll also include ideas. That will also at times include ideas that you brought up, topics that you brought up, and things of that nature. The third tier, or whatever the top tier would be, this, we would just, let's just say, like again, say there were three. We would do poker nights, or overall game nights. We'll do things like that. Overall game nights, karaoke, poker. We would even do charades. I mean, there's just a ton of things that we could do. Some digitally, some just more physically, right there with the people that we're doing the video chat with, and everything like that. So, just I want to promote again. It's about creativity. It's a, it's about creativity. It's about setting up a situation where it's not just saying, you know what, um, set up with us, and you'll get like behind the scenes footage of other things. You'll get more uncensored footage of other things. If you come over to Rumble, you'll get the more uncensored things. You'll get the more full out things, like when I redo the story of hip hop and rap, the true story of hip hop and rap. I'm gonna do a full out on Rumble. I might even go the full length of playing full videos, like full out. We get to experience the whole situation, experience the differences, the true differences, the nuances, and how people were doing at certain points. You'll get to see what it was. You'll get to see the building blocks set up, and it may be more of a long form documentary type situation that I'm going to create on Rumble. But yeah, it's going to be more of a situation where we're going to bring up things. We're going to bring up names. Where there's new information that's coming out now. That's saying that maybe that DJ Cool Herc didn't actually create hip hop. So now we have to look into that. So now we'll be looking into that also. But on YouTube, when I get ready to redo it on YouTube, it'll be a much more sanitized, shrunk down, shrink wrapped, overlooked and dissected situation to fit what they need. So that's what we'll be doing at that point. But as for today, what we're doing today is what I said I would do for the Sunday cleanup. If I found that someone in the tenderism story that brought up cast aspersions about the motives of the people on TikTok, on Instagram, and so forth, even on YouTube, and cast aspersions and felt like no one was going to really support, no one really knew what was really going on, and we're inserting ourselves into a situation where we may not know the full story or really what's happening. It happened with EDI Mean. It happened with Pink Book Lessons. It happened with the amazing Lucas. And I would say now, for the amazing Lucas's credit, he did actually go beyond the are they or are they not really trying to take advantage of him. Is he went more to the, hey, I would rather be. He was when he showed footage of Unc, of Unc doing a private, I guess, cooking session or whatever for Ronald Isley, R&B legend and soul legend and all of that. And he said, I would rather be in his position than Unc's position, but Unc is doing what he loves. And right now, Ronald Isley is relaxing. But at some point, he's still out there doing what he loves, which is singing and performing and touring and things like that. So So everybody's doing what they love. If he wanted, if what he loved was basically being, is basically, if what he loved is to basically relax and just enjoy his time, then that's what he would be doing. But if this is what he enjoyed, he always had this dream to make this happen, then he made it happen. So with that being said, I said that if I found that somebody actually did do an update and show the positivity, the other side that happened, then we would definitely do that. And we would definitely show that. I would definitely react to it. And just giving the people a little bit of a shout out here. From Maine, it actually happened. And I'm not upset about it. I'm not annoyed about it even. I'm happy about it. From mainframe multimedia to pink book lessons, I really appreciate the fact that unlike other people, especially unlike someone like Edie Amin, who was right there with the information, was right there with Unc, had an opportunity to get information, didn't find it odd, didn't find it curious that they didn't that Nick more than likely didn't want to talk about how what their arrangement is, what even just a basic setup of inner workings are. He didn't find that odd. He didn't find any of that strange, and he just moved on, and and thought that everything was cool. And even when he found, and even when he knew, and all the information showed it to be absolutely wrong, he still didn't want to come out and basically say that he was wrong. And that's the I guess perceived entitlement, perceived I guess loophole of being a content creator as opposed to being a journalist. You don't have to, your credibility isn't you don't feel like your credibility is hit when you're wrong, when you say something and just speak out on a situation and feel like you're wrong. You don't feel like you got to now go and say, hey, you know what, I came out here and I said this, that, and the third. I spoke on what I spoke on, and I wasn't completely in the right in how I came at that. And I could sit back, and this is a great example. It's a great connecting example of the difference between Edie Amin, who was a legendary rapper in the way, you know what I'm saying, in hip hop. He's a legendary rapper, crew member, you know what I'm saying, loyal guy that, you know what I'm saying, that sacrificed and risked a lot, being, you know what I'm saying, being involved in this whole situation with Death Row, with Suge, with Puff, and all of this. And I will always respect that. That will never change. Paving roads out there, folks. New day is coming. So they're paving roads out there. In case you hear it, hopefully my equipment is good enough to where it's not affecting the situation. But just in case, to give you an answer, they're paving the roads out there, and I'm just trying my best. No matter where I would have appeared, it might have been an issue either way. Maybe more of an issue. Maybe more of an issue if I was on the ground floor actually. So it's all good. But at any rate, this is an example, a difference between a journalist like myself and a content creator like Edie Amin. As a content creator, he has his outlaw stories. He has his I know Daz, I know Corrupt, I know a lot of guys out of Death Row stories. I know a lot of the other rappers who may be involved in other different situation stories. He has those. But as far as being a journalist and really trying to weigh in on this situation, you see where he has his faults. And as a journalist in my situation, I can say, hey, you know what? If I said, mark my words, I believe it was even the last Monday. But if I discover that someone else, that one of these people that I looked at, that I respected, if I seen that one of them had an update and actually was able to say, look, I've seen things on the other side, and this is what we got going on. And so in that, we have pink book lessons. And I'm going to go ahead and get this set up because it's time for me to react 2 pink book lessons and celebrate pink book lessons for. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Let's do that a little bit for her too. Let's see. Let's give her a little bit of that. And we can keep that going as we look at the video. But let me get everything set up just the right way. All right. Get that going. Let's get in here. So we give it a little bit more. Hopefully she won't get too but I am celebrating her again, once again, for anyone that sees here. I mean, it's all the visual aids all there. I'm celebrating Pink Book Lessons because I am glad to react to someone looking on the other side of this, you know, because Fawcett Media definitely did that, but he was never anyone who doubted the situation. He understood what was happening and he stood on it like we all, like a lot of us did. And I'm glad that we did that. And I'm glad that Pink Book Lessons, who may have been on the doubting side, on the cynical side of the situation and feeling like, you know, we may have been pushing at something and picking at something that didn't need picking at, but I'm glad that she's seen the other side. I haven't reacted to, I haven't even looked at the full thing. I just want to react to it and see what she says overall. But, she definitely says, you definitely see the title. Mr. Tennyson finally meets Keith Lee and his old boss is sick. So she's definitely, on team
First of all, the fact that this is the first time in person.
Yeah. Feel like I've known you for years, man.
Look at here.
I told you he's talking gay right. Look at here. Ain't gonna say any words.
What is it? How does it feel to be in the room with the man that really set this journey?
Hey, him, man.
Hey, look here. Hey, man, Uncle Bob.
Absolutely.
Hey, he make things work. Hey. And he sent his folks around.
Yeah.
And he say, go on, bless him, boy. And then he come on down here. Young man.
Young man.
Boy, my mouth.
Keith, what you said is, this talent is the talent.
Absolutely.
But your platform allowed Walter to spread his wings.
He was gonna do that anyway.
Yeah.
He was gonna be exactly where he was supposed to be at all times. I'm just blessed enough to have a platform that happened to be in his face any part of the journey. But it's his journey and he was on anyway.
Yeah.
He's gonna be where he's gonna be at. For sure.
And you said, Walter's gonna be where he gonna be at.
and that's where, for me, honestly, man, that's where for me, like, when you have a person like this, like Keith Lee, that will say that and will say it and will say it and will say it and will say it over and over again, as many times as it needs to be said. He will definitely say those things, that his platform is for those people that basically he respects, that he sees they're out there trying their asses off, and he wants them to know that he respects them. And more than respect, he truly, as a food critic, it's sort of ironic, and I don't even know if I realize that he realizes this, but as a food critic and what he does for certain people, in that what I'm saying, that like like people who run a food truck, does pastries, baked goods, confections, things like that. Excuse me. He shows love to them by giving them money, and in a way, and in a true, really true way, putting his money where his mouth is. He sees these people trying, he sees these people doing great things, and he wants to help them keep doing great things. And just always saying, look, man, yeah, he'll tell the truth that, look, when we started working with this person and started shouting them out, now they have a bigger platform, but because people put eyes on it. But that's only one part of it. That's only one part of it. Because see, that's what Keith Lee understands. He's like, certain people, our brains are wired to be very pragmatic about situations. Keith Lee is only saying, like, look, man, that guy was popping. People were loving him. He was going to be where he wanted to be no matter what. it just took people to support and see where, you know what I'm saying, and see this guy for who he is, and really care about him and love him and move him to where, you know what I'm saying, and he was going to be here. It wasn't about Keith Lee having to be the person to do that, you know. So let me see here. Give me a quick second, folks. A little cleanup. Just give me a quick second. Okay, just want to see if it was a little bit better. But I know that once we get the 1080, once we go pro, everything will be a little better there. So just getting there, I had to do that. So let's see. Oh, well, that's fun. Okay. Alrighty then. So let's see. Let's just go ahead and get right back into that. Oh, I do apologize, folks. I was just marveling over the actual setup that we have here, and we do have this. So I do want to at least say that while we have this stage here, this one point, just one. This is normally for the people that, you know, interview form, or if I'm really like, or like what I did with Edie Amin, I had to kind of put him in this position, and I kind of had to really just kind of dig into the situation like this, and I think that's kind of how I'll go out. But I just want to take a moment right here and just say, Pink Book Lessons, I I'm definitely humbled. I don't apologize, can't apologize, because, you know, I never said that there was that they wouldn't, that no one would, just no one had, to my knowledge. But I would look and I would confirm, and I confirmed, and I would definitely say that I'm happy that there is at least something that's showing the genuine greatness of this situation, about how the good intentions turned out to be something absolutely great. And I'm glad that it happened this way. I'm glad that you're a part of the change. I'm glad that you're a part of seeing how great this all is. So, kudos to you. So let's just get right into the video itself.
Where he's going to be at. You want to tell him?
Okay, so we gonna get an exclusive. It's gonna be a family day.
I bet you didn't know that.
Not sure if you saw the clip of Mr. Tenderism and Keith Lee on Tamron Hall. It was the first time the two met in person. Mr. Walt Johnson, aka Mr. Tenderism, was happy. Keith Lee was happy. Hey, they even made Tamron Hall genuinely happy. Not TV happy, but really happy. It's the first time they've met in person since months ago when Keith Lee traveled to California to meet Mr. Tenderism at Destination Smokehouse, the restaurant he was working at that he made famous with his catchphrases, his videos on social media showing off the food. A restaurant owned by some Armenian guy that was first launched as a failing coffee shop. But Mr. Walt went over there, wanted to do barbecue, and next thing you know, with his recipes and menu ideas, they fully transformed that restaurant into a barbecue spot. Keith Lee stopped there on his food tour because he wanted to meet Unc and give him a $4,000 tip only for the restaurant employees and the owner to block Keith Lee from doing that. It was a whole scandal. If you missed my coverage, I'll leave the links below. All the videos are there in the description. The owner of the restaurant tried to steal the trademark for the name Tenderism. There was a blow up, sparking conversation about black labor versus black ownership. And ultimately, Unc left the restaurant, went out on his own, and like I said before, 24. He was too old to want to be responsible for and work 16 hours a day, opening a restaurant and dealing with operations day to day. I maintained from the beginning I did not think that was a good idea. There was something else he could do to earn money from his talent. And the business, the talent is him. What he's doing now is using that talent to shine light on other black businesses. He's kind of like an extension of what Keith Lee's been doing. And you know what? I love that for him. He's getting love in Northern California. Shout out to the Bay, Oakland, San Francisco, Vallejo, everybody. He's most definitely getting love in Texas too. Can't forget about Texas, the DMV as well. But I have to say, nobody's been holding down Mr. Tenderism like Atlanta. I believe Atlanta really set the tone to launch the marketing side of his business, the influencer business that he's doing right now. Though I still believe Texas gave him a big push. But yeah, Atlanta really set the tone to launch the marketing influencer business that he's doing right now, helping him become more successful in other areas like Maryland, New Orleans, soon to be other areas in the country too.
I just want to see if they tender. If they tender ain't the word.
Tender ain't the word. I love it. Social media sensation Mr. Tenderism himself is going to be here in the Metro this weekend, and he's trying to see if Atlanta has that tender barbecue. And hopefully we will not disappoint. Joining us this morning is Walter, Mr. Tenderism Johnson, along with Stephen Butler, the owner of Steve's Barbecue. Gentlemen, welcome in.
Happy Friday to you.
All right.
It's good to have y'all on the Friday.
Yeah, Tenderism Friday.
Mr. Tenderism Friday. I love it. So people.
And let me take a quick moment. I will give Pink Book Lessons respect. She stood and she went in and confronted what she said before about feeling like that, and it may be possible, and he may pivot, he may choose another avenue, but there were other people that said, you know what, we'll get you a food cart, we'll get you a spot, you can raise the money, we'll set it up, you know what I'm saying, we'll do all of this for you if you want to do that. So if he wants to do it, that's always the thing. Like even going back to women, to women as far as being housewives or not, it's always been like, as a matter of fact, I'll even go this route. Instead of just saying things, I'll have an actual, I was about 16 years old. I was actually my junior year in high school, and I signed up to be part of the Army National Guard. It was my way to pay for college at that point, so that my mom didn't feel like she had to kind of extend herself another several years in order to basically pay for me as a young adult. I needed to figure out my situation as best I could, and I wasn't really focused on being an athlete. So as far as like getting like, a scholarship that way, what I'm saying, or an academic scholarship, because even though I wasn't, that much of a, a jock, but I had a balance between being social and actually being in school doing my thing. I had no problem. I was solid. As a matter of fact, I was going for an advanced diploma. I was only in school for about 3 years, so, and basically, I had, excuse me. So basically I went to basic training, boot camp, some people call it. And I remember her well, redhead. It's always the way with me when it comes to the redheads, man. But there was a redhead by the name of Zarnecki. She was, very much it's weird because it's weird to kind of say like what is a true feminist and what's not, but she, in my opinion, was the truest feminist that I could have seen. Because I say that in the way of like, she was often telling, we had a real deep conversation while we were out in the field doing some digging of something, all this weird shit that we were doing at basic training. But we were having a conversation, and she was telling me how she felt the most oppressed, the most pressured by pseudo feminist groups. She said she felt like it was the feeling of that there wasn't really a choice in this new freedom, this new world of freedom and choice. She couldn't choose to be a housewife if she wanted to. That would be wrong. That would be her being programmed. That would be her being that would be her being under her husband's thumb. That wouldn't be her choice. And talking to her because I was still kind of figuring my situation out and how I was feeling about that. And I kind of agreed with where we were having conversations. And I felt like, because first of all, she felt like the main thing that kind of started into this was feeling like she didn't like the fact that the physical requirements for women were lower of that of the men there. She didn't agree with that. She felt like in order to be in the same place that we were in, she said that to have she preferred to have it be equal, and also she felt like her freedom of choice is still being co-opted and controlled by the mainstream feminists who feel like, okay, you're supposed to want to be a working woman. You're supposed to not want to be at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids if that's what you feel like you want to do. And you feel like the situation is such. She even felt like we're talking with her husband and they set the tone. They set the terms of how their marriage would go. So if so she felt like she wanted to be, a housewife. And I was kind of getting into that. I think we were kind of getting to that point. Like, look, wherever we're going to be as a couple, we need to uphold what we need to uphold. So if we're going to be both working, we need to both share the responsibilities of the household together. It can't be just on one person. If one person's gonna be working and the other person's gonna be at home, then the things that need to be done at home need to be done by that person that's at home. That doesn't include the kids. The kids are not a chore. The kids are not housework. They're different things. Their responsibility, their true responsibility, they're your creation. So that's a different thing altogether. You got to be there for the kids. You got to be a parent to your kids. Honestly, when you're there, you got to be a parent to your kids. So that's what we were feeling, and she was just feeling like she couldn't make her choice if she wanted to do that. If she wanted to leave the working world and become a housewife, she couldn't. She felt like she would be seen as something less than if she did that. And so that was very, that was very strong to me. I mean, like I said, so I guess the point of where I'm going with this is just to say I definitely respect. I definitely respect. So someone that stands on what they stand on and the strength that they have, and I definitely respect that. I definitely respect the feeling, and you know what I'm saying, and just definitely I respect that. I have a great respect for women, and I definitely respect the woman who can say, you know what, hey, I'm going back, I'm confronting that. I did say that, and there are other avenues, what I'm saying, to take. I just, like I said, I just wanted to definitely bring that out, what I'm saying, as part of this, because I definitely respected, where she was coming from as a woman, as what I'm saying, as a what I'm saying, as an actual feminist and everything like that, as far as the equality that we have in this world. I just wanted to take a moment to highlight her as well, but also say the Pink Book lessons that I definitely respect the fact that you say, hey, look, I said what I said. I did feel like I wasn't saying that there wasn't something wrong here. I'm just saying that maybe he just didn't want to do, but maybe he just didn't want to do, what I'm saying, what it took to run his own business. That may have also been true, but and it may still be true, and it may not be. But the point is to not feel like, just like I said to Edie Amin when I reacted to his video, you could give that man a consulting position, a what I'm saying, a consulting executive position. someone who's, you know what I'm saying, who is at the top of the quality, you know what I'm saying, who's at the top of the quality when it came to the meat and the smoking and the terms of what he's looking for. See, when you have somebody and you know, and you're not respecting them, immediately as soon as things start to waver, what we start hearing? Oh, the meat doesn't have to fall off the bone and everything like this. And look, these are the people who, you know, but would they be these people if Unk hadn't came in there with these ideas, if Unk hadn't came in there with his travels over years and years, over different places, different spices, different techniques people use, and everything like that to kind of forge his own path and his own identity? Would there be that? Would there be those people? So I get what people are saying. And like I said, everybody makes choices. There are avenues, but the thing is, he deserved those avenues. He deserved the ability to say, you know what? Yeah, I think I might want to go ahead and do it this way because this is working for me. I might want to do it this way. I might want to, or actually, I've always dreamed of running my own restaurant and showing people how I do it and giving them that home cooking and that loving. And I want to do that. If that's him, then that's him. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But let's keep on going. We don't want to stretch this out too long, but let's keep
We're coming out there to Steve's Barbecue to meet you, but first, what does this mean to you to have him, of all people, to come on out here, check out barbecue? You got to put on for the city, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great thing. It's a great feeling, you know, to have someone inspirational as Mr. Johnson here, aka Mr. Tendonism. What we got? It's a great feeling, man. We look forward to having a great weekend.
And they definitely did that. First, it was Ron Isley and his wife, them supporting him with that celebrity booking. Then he went back to Atlanta again, traveled down to Steve's Barbecue in Fayetteville, Georgia, where people came from all over the metro to support the business and meet Mr. Tendonism. Line was out the door.
Real odd that for some reason there was I believe Trina Braxton there. See my eyes, man, they can cut through a lot of and they can spot things, but for some reason there's Trina Braxton amongst this party that, you know, that Unc is doing this thing for Ronald Isley, and she's there. I'm not sure what that's about, but okay. But moving on, I just wanted to make sure. Fun fact. I love fun facts.
Get on the phone and be like, Tendonism.
Boy, look at him. This is Tendonism at its best.
That's all he say. He talking catchphrases. He don't really speak in full word sentences. And then when you call him, he'd be like, I'll put it down. I'll throw down whatever you need to be thrown down. We working on something really big together.
Is he a nice guy?
He's amazing. He's exactly what I thought he was. Again, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
You can't fake the funk.
And does he really make the oxtails?
So from what I was told was that it was one of his recipes. It could have been co-created. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But he initially was the person who brought barbecue to the table. It then got so big that they had to outsource people to cook it at the time and have him as like the marketer. But he throw down in the kitchen. He get on the phone and he be like, Tendonism.
Oh man, it's just family coming together. See, really love and do for a purpose. Hey, but one thing I found out, man was there. He the one who called the shot.
Apparently, he's looking out for you.
I'm just following the lead now. I ain't driving no more, letting him drive. You know what I mean? Everything going all right too, man.
And speaking of that, because we all know that you were a part of a company,
Right.
You were there, you decided to take a leap of faith, you walked away from it, you're doing your own thing now. Did you just say it was time?
Yeah, you kind of know when to say time comes, opportunity knock. You gotta be ready. It was like, okay, it's time to go.
And you were ready. You didn't have any second thoughts about it.
Nope, I stay ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put one before the other and kept on moving. You know what I mean?
Tenderism. Hey, H.L. baby.
You know what? And let me say this. Let me say this, man. See, this is what they talk about. You can't fake, man. You know, hey, look, man. The electric slide, that is something that the electric slide, whatever they want to call it, whatever variation that it comes in, it just it shows, man. There are people who are even just willing to do it, man, because it's fun. It's that connection. It's saying, I see you guys. I'm here for you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's real for me. It's real for him. This joy that he's feeling, this moment that he's feeling like, look, man, to go from where he was, man, in that hoodie, sitting there beside Nick Yepremian, you know, just a sour look on his face, you know what I'm saying, just feeling really down. You know what I'm saying? Everyone could see it. Everyone could see it. And we get this now. And you just love what you see now. I love it. Thanks to, by the way, thanks to at least one person who actually decided to check me out live. Thank you for coming back. If you were the person before, I didn't get to thank that person before, but thank that person who was here before. If this person has come back, thank you. Um, Thank you for coming back and taking a look. Yeah, I do have some more visuals here. It's not just going to be me talking the whole time. I'm trying to get back into that, having more visuals, having more things. So let's get back into it. But again, you can't fake this type of thing right here, man. A lot of people act like they're for the culture, but here he is, man. Here he is. Way less security, way less, you know what I'm saying, way less people feeling like they got to be separated. They can't be trusted to be around this guy. There's nothing but love here. And he knows it. And he's not worried about anybody doing anything to him because, you know what I'm saying, it's all about love. What's he done to anybody that would be worried about somebody doing something to him? You know, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Never let you go before I let go.
He even brought his wife out. They said Mr. Tenderism introduced us to his tenderoni. That was too funny. But yeah, they've been together for 41 years.
Got it, black love.
Wow,
We see y'all
wow.
out here on the road. We love that. How beautiful is that? You all cooking and doing things. How did you find out your man could cook?
Let him cook it for me when he did.
Mm.
Once you taste it, you know that he cooked.
But what's one of your favorite things when he at the house and he just relaxing? What that you like to eat?
Lobster and steak.
Oh, you be making lobster and steak?
Mean deal.
What?
Lobster and steak.
Booyah, I was trying to keep it for I was trying to cook it, tell y'all that, but that's okay. All right.
Chevy trucks are dependable. Chevy people who drive.
Looks like
They don't need
hey,
permission
looks like
to get
that's
one.
that's like
They all
there's
have
something
that
to the
little
way the
extra.
Romans are sometimes too, huh?
And maybe you got a tip. Chevrolet. Together, let's
Sorry
drive.
about that, y'all. I got a Chevy.
That's cool in the game. Cool.
I got a Chevy.
They say I don't need no teeth.
HHR.
Actually. 40 years, courthouse, Square East is the right place. High noon brunch, this is it. Then get paid. Y'all better get on down here and chill out.
Hey Joe, how you doing?
Good.
Okay, listen. I got brunch tomorrow and I'm serving these short ribs and I need these short ribs to be tender. Do you have somebody that can help me out?
Man, I got the perfect person for you.
Meet me at 5, okay?
All right, see you there.
Hey, how you doing? I needed you today.
Hey, come on in.
All right, let's go see if we can make it happen.
All right now.
Brunch is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got short ribs.
Look, I love
Short
that.
ribs, you know you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right,
I need you to put that in.
If this is where he ends up going, if this is the direction that he ends up taking, hey, great for him. I love it. I love it for him. I love the ownership. I love the beauty of the situation. You can say, yeah, I saw his wife and all, but do you have the footage? Do you have anything EDI? No, you don't. Here's his wife, and she's talking. I mean, they just, I mean, it's a lovely thing, man. It's a lovely, beautiful, enjoyable thing. I enjoy the hell out of this. And I thank Pink Book Lessons for being a part of this, for bringing some footage up, and just really just, hey, you know what? Hey, she said what she said. She was always supportive, and this proves it. And that's what you have to see. Is like, look, if you care, you'll stay on it. You'll be willing to. And this is what I want. I wanted to be a part of this. I wanted to. I commented on things. I spoke on stuff because this is what this is, man. I I just basically, this is my reaction.
Come on, girl. All right, we're ready to do it. All right.
Real raw reaction. Loving it.
Right there, just don't make it short ribs. What it do?
Mr. Two News, man, what it do, man? How you doing today, man? I'm feeling good. I'm glad. Cool in the game, man. I bet you got the real black tail. Yeah, I got the show real back here, man. I know you're going to be tough. Let's get it on. Booyah. I want to just see man they tender money. Let me make sure. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's pure tenderism. Hey, look at him. Look, didn't you see it? Look at him. Look at him. I say no more. That's tenderism. Booyah, tenderism.
Meanwhile, here's the owner at the old restaurant he was working at that blocked that $4,000 Keith Lee tip and tried to steal the trademark. He's doing videos trying to convince people that they don't need meat to be tender anymore.
You don't want it to fall off the bone. You don't really want a pulled pork bite of this. You want to taste something where there's more pork flavor, more integrity left in the meat. But look at that bark. Look at that shine and glisten. Let me take a bite.
Fuck you.
And that's what we call perfect bite through.
Oh,
see how there's no meat left on the bone when I bit?
Come here.
Shut your stupid ass.
So you actually don't want the meat to fall right off the bone of your ribs, because then it loses its integrity. And look at how nice the glaze looks on this and how moist the meat looks. When you cut into it, the meat, it falls right off the bone as well. Yeah, look at that. That is exactly what you want with your ribs right there.
Yeah, whatever that is. But now Mr. Tenderism is gearing up for a big event with Keith Lee in New Orleans, where Keith Lee is hosting a food festival.
It's the holidays, times are hard, food and family are the first things that connect to me. So what's better than feeding some families with some food? I was amazing, man.
Keith Lee has been supporting culinary arts all over the country, but he has a special sensitivity for New Orleans.
Now, I really respect Keith Lee, man, for what he doing for the city, man.
Food insecurity is real for our people, and the fact that we're doing a hot plate food giveaway with premier quality under the bridge.
Food lovers across the Bayou State will have a chance to get it, try it, and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. TikTok star and food critic Keith Lee will be launching a family food festival in New Orleans this spring in a joint venture with Live Nation Urban and Moral Hospitality. The inaugural Family Festival will showcase local restaurants and musicians. Lee hopes this will bring attention to the gems of food and music.
All I gotta say is you can't fake real influence, you can't fake authenticity, you can't just grab it off somebody else and put it on yourself. Keith Lee really exposed all of this, but he's still not taking credit for it or colonizing the situation. He's giving Walter Johnson the credit for himself, and Mr. Johnson, aka Mr. Tenderism, is giving the glory to God every time you see him in an interview. He's obviously blessed, and the folks trying to block his blessing, well, that turned out to be another blessing in disguise. Everything happened the way it did for a reason. You can't calculate timing if it's not aligned with God's plan. And I truly believe this was the order. Now he's able to go out and explore other restaurants and businesses. He's essentially leasing his spotlight to those businesses. We have black men and black women. The business owner class, they're booking him and he's bringing that spotlight to them. This right here is a great example of working together for a greater common goal. It's hard enough keeping any business alive right now, especially restaurants, and black restaurants are taking an even harder hit. But what he's he's doing right now is bringing people together to keep that fire lit. So yeah, I love it. Shout out to Mr. Tennism and Keith Lee. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this flow. Gotta send a special shout out to my sister Starlet. I appreciate you, Starlet, for all of your support for the channel. Long time supporter. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balance analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.
Yeah, we will leave it right there for her, man. Cause definitely do that. I definitely like how she. Hey, look, I definitely like how she comes with the situation, and I feel like this. Not everything is gonna be said. Like there's females that I respect. Dope discussions with Danica Marie, even what I'm saying, even Lake Keisha, Six the Goddess. I respect these women. I respect women like these. It's not about everything they're saying is going to be agreed with. It's not about everything that they say is going to be, at the feet of men or serving what we say. It's about seeing it for what it actually is. And I think that is a great thing. And sometimes you need to, it comes from perspective. Like, look, it's not always about, hey, you know what? Let me give you some signs that a guy may not like you. Like, look, it's not always about, look, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. But it's like, look at the signs that a guy may not actually like you. And try to work off that. I really want to thank again, like the video. I'm liking the video right now. If I haven't already, but oh yeah, I absolutely already did it. So, for sure, liking the video, subscribe, do your thing. I definitely appreciate her. I definitely appreciate what she brings to the table here. So that's why somebody that I definitely look at and I respect it. That was somebody like the amazing Lucas, and at one point Edie. I still respect him always in the hip hop space. I respect him always, man. He is a legend. He's someone who risked a lot and sacrificed a lot. And he's still here and he still has stories to tell. And then those stories need to be honored and they need to be heard. I absolutely am with that. But overall, I feel like his part in this, which was a integral part, he was the guy interviewing Unc when when all of this really began. And he offers nothing. He tries to back them in a way that tried to make Keith Lee look like it was on something that it wasn't, and really just show his amateurness in the situation when he really dropped the ball. You could have had Keith Lee and Unc on your show. This could have been a thing that could have been boosted for you, even more boost. I mean, even though the legendary Willie D of the Ghetto Boys and what I'm saying, of Houston, of course, is doing this thing, that could have been a big boost for him too. And you dropped the ball, bro. You dropped the ball. You didn't see the opportunity and you fucked up. And then you just came back in your own platform and tried to fucking play it off like, what I'm saying? Like it was more about respect for you than kind of placating to Keith Lee. Like, damn, man. You're just not thinking, bro. You're just not thinking. Not thinking at all. Bro, at all, my man. At all. Sad. Sad. Let's just call it what it is, my bro. It is a sad situation. That's all I can say. I guess we'll take it down. We'll take it down. But yeah, just a sad situation, man. Is all I can say. I don't know how else to. I don't know how else to put it. You know. But hold up, should I be doing this one? Let me see. Is this better? Is that the one I should have? Oh yeah, that's the one I should have. Okay, but yeah, but just just saying for what it is, man. It's just great. I could rail on about that for a while, but I'm just glad that I'm not completely disappointed in the situation. It wouldn't have been a big disappointment. It just kind of like understanding the way things are and just seeing, look, okay, some people are just gonna in part want to be contrary to the situation and just say, oh, you guys, you're not gonna do anything. You don't want this. You don't want that. You want that. And look. It's humorous. For the amazing Lucas, it's humorous. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I like the amazing Lucas, and I like where he is, and the I like the humorous yet very efficient way that he goes about things. I absolutely do. Let me just say that also. Big ups to him. He's definitely somebody that I, what I'm saying, that I respect. I respect how he does things. I have a friend of mine who's familiar with him that he was part of the console wars. Apparently, I forget. I think he may have been more of a PlayStation person, but it was a thing between PlayStation and Xbox, and I think he took a side. He really was big about that. And if you know about the amazing Lucas and his content, you know that when he digs into something, it can really get under people's skin to a point where he got to where he was invited onto Piers Morgan's show, immediately after Charlie Kirk's death, um, because of some of the posts that he put up. And, he, his t-shirts and everything. It's just, bro, I mean, look, bro. I'm just like he does sometimes, bro. But seriously, respect for him. I can understand that if it's not something that he felt like he didn't really basically attack, the people. He just said, like he just kind of the same sentiment. He may not want this, and I'd rather be here. I'd rather be a boss, but he wasn't a boss there either. He wasn't even like an executive consultant. He wasn't somebody that was like, okay, I'm the one who comes in, make sure stuff is being done well. Say the techniques they're using is the ones that I would approve of. That's really because now my name's on this. People are coming there expecting real tender meat, and I'm like, this is how it gets done and things like that. And him having that overall that respect. He's not just somebody that all of a sudden, now here, take the camera. I need you to, like, nah, hold on a second. Were you holding the camera when he was doing this? No, a lot of times you're there with him, standing by him while somebody else is holding the camera. So, I mean, this is what we got right here. I'm certainly glad to see, thank you to Pink Book Lessons for taking the time to say, you know what? This is a great moment. I want to be a part of it. I want people to know that I'm not hating on the situation. I just felt like maybe he was too old to run his own business. Maybe he's pivoted to something else, and I'm grateful for this. Those people deserve, what I'm saying, the karma that they got, and she's with that. So I'm with you. I'm with her on that. So and if it does turns out that what, maybe he's not going to run his own place. Maybe he's going to be a guy that can use this to pivot on a bigger, make money this way, and really be an influencer, really shine a spotlight. If that's another way that he wants to go, cool beans. If he wants to have a little thing here, a little small, something that people can come and really get his home cooking, right in the local area too, then hey. It's all good. Either way it goes, it's all good. And I appreciate the people who were here or the person who was here. I appreciate those people who may get a chance to, take a chance on the new look, the new platform, and view what I got going on and stick with me a little bit. Be notified, because mainly that's what subscriptions do, folks. Subscriptions, if nothing else, it gives people like on a mailing list. Like when I put out a video or I'm putting out something, I'm going live, you get notified and you get a chance to see it. So that's all a subscription really does. And it may help move me up the ladder a little bit and definitely help me get to a point of a point of monetization, of course. So yeah, those things are essential to what I'm doing. But overall, I just want to be able to put out good content, keep being better at what I'm doing, improve on, you know what I'm saying, on what I'm setting up with Restream and Rumble, the R&R, and just kind of move forward with YouTube, you know what I'm saying, the why, you know what I'm saying, of all of this. So it's like, let's just kind of, I'm just going to keep moving, keep working, work harder, be more consistent, and just kind of move forward with this. So Mainframe Multimedia, and hopefully you'll get to see more of the Creative Space program pretty soon, and a lot more of my collaborations with the Damian J. Rogers Network and things of that nature. So just trying to keep things moving, keep brands going, because that's what Mainframe Multimedia is about. It's about media of all types, kind of getting into all areas and doing what we can do here. So that's my goal. I love media. I've been doing this since I was a kid and been wanting to be a part of it since I was a kid. But the real is the real, folks. I'm me. This is this. This is where I live, Newport News, Virginia. This is what happens, and this is the challenges, the obstacles that you have to work your way around. People's perceptions, preconceived notions, the area you come from. You have to work beyond all of that and make it work for you. And when you can become a person that can get beyond that and people can see that you're moving beyond that, they want to start connecting with that, and that'll start creating a network for yourself here. So this is where it starts. So thank you very much for being here, folks. I'll definitely check you out as soon as possible.